Okay.
All right, so I have hello everyone. Thank you for joining me today on this. Well, I'm in Ottawa. For those of you who are wondering where I am, it is gross outside. It is wet. It's like wet snow, but more wet than snow. Like zero is the temperature here, and everything is melting, and we have pools everywhere. So you don't want to be walking on a sidewalk, or else you're going to get sprayed by cars going by here. Um, I am a representative for Bellman and Symfon. Sunny Calgary. I'm jealous. So I'm the representative from Bellman and Symfon. We're going to go over at a high level because we only have it's an hour, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah,
So I
that's right.
can't get into the weeds of everything, but I hope to give you at least a good overview and a good idea and a good awareness as to what our devices can do for you. I am working from home. Please ignore my background, but I've removed the virtual background because you need to see my hands and you need to be able to see devices as I'm showing them to you. Sometimes they disappear depending on where I put it on the screen. I'm going to do my best to show you how a lot of these devices work, and as far as on a virtual platform. I do have a question, first order of the day. And I know that if you have the captioning working, you may get this. So I'm going to sign this, but I'm going to ask, are there any deaf people here? And they can chat in the chat. Say yes or no. Just the deaf, only the deaf people. Are you here today? Not seeing anything, which is a fortunate thing because we had an interpreter booked who canceled at the last minute, and it was a concern that we wouldn't be able to properly accommodate a deaf person. But it just seems like we have mainly non-deaf who are participating in this seminar. Great. So there's going to be two parts, and I don't have any spreadsheets or documents to share. I have a lot of, and excuse me, my text is going off. It's my wife. I'm just going to silence that. Um, so I don't have PowerPoint presentations to share so that it won't distract you. It's just me, and I'm going to show you devices on the screen. I think it's a little bit better that way, a little bit more interactive that way, and you don't just see images and read a PowerPoint slide. Everybody can read. So I'm just going to talk to you about this. If you have questions, please ask. I'm here to help you and answer any of your questions, and you can ask them in the moment. I'm going to watch the webinar chat to see if there's some questions there, and I'll try to answer them in the moment so that you're getting the answers about the device we're talking about, and not we haven't moved on to a different topic and then I'm reading your questions, which doesn't make much sense. So there's two parts that we're going to oversee. The first part, and it's because of what the company Bellman and Symfon offers, we offer two types of solutions: amplification to hear louder, and alerting so that you're aware of what's going around in your environment. It's a safety and security and independence angle. So once again, amplification, we'll talk about some devices there, and then we'll totally shift gears. We're going to draw a line between the amplification, and then we're going to move over to the alerting. And if there's anybody who is French speaking here, my name is Michael Warburton. My father is British. My mother is from Quebec City, and that's my first language, believe it or not, is French. So if anybody wants to talk to me in French, by all means, bring it on. That said, like I said, we're going to start talking about amplification. And the first device, which is our number one device, is a personal handheld personal amplifier. Personal means it's for somebody who just needs that boost of sound and struggles to hear in conversations with small groups. I wouldn't bring this device to a large group, let's say a conference or a seminar where you have 200 people in the audience and you're sitting at the way back and you're struggling to hear. I would not recommend this device. I have a different device, but this device is great for small settings. It is called the Maxi Pro. So I'm going to bring it into the screen so you can see it a little bit closer. And it is a very simple device that has a power button. When you turn it on, and then you can see these big buttons are volume. If I press minus, you'll see the line gets smaller. I press plus, the line gets bigger, and the volume is very high, very loud. I think it's up to 90 dB that you can go to on the full max. 90 dB for a hearing person like myself would blow my eardrum. So you got to be careful. It can be very, very loud. And the two little buttons below is the tone. And as you see, if I press it, you'll see that it's like a dot that moves up and down depending on high or low tone. Tone is the treble, the tinny sound, or the bass, if you want lower bass or higher bass. So the tone does that, and the volume does volume. Now, at the very top, I'm going to wait till the camera kind of clears it up. You see there's two buttons. There's one button that's got the microphone symbol. It's kind of hard to see. It's the one that's lit. And there's another button here that's got a Bluetooth symbol. So this device has Bluetooth. What that means is, whoa, I caught it. You can take your cell phone. Yes, I do have a screensaver that is Star Wars related. We don't judge at this seminar. But what you can do is you can pair this device to your cell phone. What does that mean? It means technically I could be sitting, and I'm going to put the headset on. It can come with a headset. It can come with earbuds. It can come with a neck loop for people who have hearing aids and need to have an added sound quality. You can connect this to your hearing aids as well. So what happens is I'm having a conversation with the person in front of me and I need that added sound. So I have it. I'm going to actually turn it down a little bit because I had the volume up and I'm hearing myself quite well. And I'm having a conversation. So what did you think of the hockey game last night? Oh, man, that guy, we need to trade him. He is useless, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm having that conversation. My cell phone has been paired just the same way you would pair your cell phone with any Bluetooth device. You click the Bluetooth button, you find Maxi Pro, and you tap it, and you're connected. Very simple. But my cell phone is in the kitchen, and I'm sitting in the living room talking to my friend with this device. All of a sudden, in my ears, there's a phone call that starts coming in, and I hear ring, ring, ring on my ears. The microphones the headset that comes with this, either earbuds or a headset or a neck loop, come with a microphone right here. So I press, if there's ringing, the Bluetooth button. Now it's not lit because it's not paired right now. My phone isn't paired. But if it were paired, and I can do that actually really quickly. Bear with me. I have to put in my code for some reason. And I go to Bluetooth. And you can see, oh, it's not very clear right now, but it should say Maxi Pro. And I connect. There we go. And when I press the Bluetooth button, oh, did it not connect? Just a moment. Well, this is strange. I think I have a different, I've done so many demos that I've paired my phone to different Maxi Pros. And I think I have a little bit of a problem because I've paired it to a different one and I don't know which one. Doesn't matter. What would happen is I press the Bluetooth button and a blue light will light up. This will disconnect the microphone. So it'll disconnect the conversation I'm having with the person in front of me and will connect to my cell phone. I have not touched my cell phone. I've left it in the kitchen. And then I say, hello. And in my headset, I'll hear the person on the phone and they'll say, hi, Mike, how you doing? I'm having a barbecue on the weekend. Would you like to join? Hey, great. I'm going to join you on the weekend. What time? Bring your own beer? Fantastic. I'll be right there. See you at noon. And then I press the Bluetooth button again, and that hangs up the call, and it goes right back to the microphone, and I start having a conversation with the person, continue having a conversation with the person in my living room. So you can control who you're talking to just by pressing the two buttons, the microphone or the Bluetooth. Bluetooth connects you to your cell phone, and the microphone connects you to the microphone so you can talk to the people who are in front of you. And the sound quality is digital. So you don't get the popping and scratching that you get on other amplifiers that you may have noticed. This one is whisper clear sound. Right now I'm listening to it and I can hear the air circulating in my room because there's a fan going. That's all I hear. Other than that, I hear my voice. So it's a fantastic little device, and it's not all it can do. There is, I apologize, I need to reach under my desk to get it. This can do even more. You can get it, here's the box, and there's a Maxi Pro TV listening system. And inside, there's this little device that looks like this. And this connects to your TV. So what that does is this device can actually do three things. One, it amplifies all voices around, digital sound, crystal clear. Two, it can connect to your cell phone or tablet, and you can watch or listen to your music or answer calls through this device and have amplified sound. But if you add this accessory, this is called the TV streamer. And in this box comes all the cables that one would need to connect this to your TV. So you don't have to go out and buy anything or use some of your cables that you have at home. It's all in the box. And there's so many cables in the box that you'll only use one, but we put them all in the box just to make sure that you have the right cable. So they're all there. And you connect it to your TV, and these two connect together. And that way you get the TV sound delivered to this and into your ears. So I could listen to the TV using this as my sound amplifier, and I get my own sound, while my wife, who's sitting right next to me watching the same show as me, has the TV remote and controls the TV volume to her sound. So that is the three things: personal amplifier, cell phone connection, and TV connection. It does all three. And for the price, it's in and around, if I forget the price exactly, but it's under 300. It is a fantastic device that does a lot of things, and it's very versatile. It's got a 2-year warranty, like all our devices have a 2-year warranty, and it is solid. I have dropped this, stepped on this, left it in the car overnight in -40 weather, all sorts of things I've done, and it just keeps ticking away. It can take a licking and keep on ticking. So that is the Maxi Pro, and then you can get the added device, the TV streamer. So it's the Maxi Pro and TV listening system. So both are available. You can get one on its own or the two together, depending on what you need. So that's one device. And I'm going to turn this off because I hear my voice in stereo sound. I'm turning it off. And there we go. So that's one. The other one is even smaller. This one does not have Bluetooth. So it's even more simple. So people, some people, seniors, sometimes are not fully comfortable with Bluetooth yet. It's a little tricky for me. I don't understand it. Not interested. Then maybe this is better. This is a personal amplifier called the Mino. Very small. It comes with a little belt clip that you can attach it to your clothing or whatnot. And you can see, I'm going to try to bring it closer. So it's got a power button, and it's got a button that says mic, and it's got a button that says T. And these are the volume and tone, just like on the Maxi Pro, just on a circular system. Minus and plus is volume, and arrow left and right is tone. The exact same concept. Now I turned it on, and you can see as I change the tone, it's the same concept. That little dot goes up and down. Oh, it's flashing because I think the battery is getting low. And then the volume, I turn it down and I turn it up, and you can see the big bar fills up. So the tone is the little button that flashes around, and the volume is the big light that kind of takes the whole bar there. And I'm turning it all the way down. Now, you can see here, these are microphones. The Maxi Pro has one. This one has two. The microphone is an omnidirectional microphone. So for those who don't know, there are directional microphones and omnidirectional microphones. Directionals mean if you're pointing the device to a source of sound, it'll pick up that source of sound. As soon as you point it away from that sort of source of sound, if the sound's coming from over there and I'm pointing it that way, you're not going to get that much sound. But if you point it towards the source of sound, directional microphones pick it up very, very well. Omnidirectional microphones, you got to think of it as a microphone that picks everything up around you. So this is an omnidirectional microphone, whereas this device has both. It has a directional microphone and an omnidirectional microphone. And that's cool because it depends on the environment that the people are in who are using this to amplify the sound. If you're having a conversation with somebody in front of you, you may want to use the directional microphone. But if you're in a group setting, like a family dinner, you may want to have this at the table and using the omnidirectional microphone. So you're capturing everybody's voice around the table. And the way to do it is to press this mic button. So I press it this way, green, directional. Oh, sorry. There we go. Orange, omnidirectional, and green directional. There we go. And this is going to die soon. The T is something that a lot of people don't really understand. And it's only if you have hearing aids. So if you have hearing aids, you may be familiar with what's called a telecoil. A telecoil is a little tiny, it looks like a bobby pin that's been shrunk. And around the bobby pin is copper. And copper, when there's an electrical charge that goes through it, and this has an electrical charge because it's rechargeable batteries, and the batteries give an electrical charge, can transfer sound from a device to a hearing aid. So magnetic telecoils will send sound wirelessly from one source, this source, to another source. So if somebody has telecoil hearing aids, equipped hearing aids, and honestly, it's about 50% of hearing aids these days have it, this can connect to your hearing aids, meaning you don't need the headset. I've just taken it off. You would need a neck loop, and you press the T and it connects to your hearing aids without having anything going into your ears. This little device does not have, because it doesn't have Bluetooth, it doesn't have that capability of pairing to your cell phone to answer calls. This is strictly a personal amplifier. It's tiny and it's easy to work. Power button, on, off, volume up, down, tone, left, right, up and down the tone. That's it. And then you can pick the microphone, which one you want. Again, they're all digital sounds, so you don't get that popping. Telecoil is a very old technology. I see the question right there. Telecoil dates back to like World War II. And then they started putting telecoils into hearing aids in the 60s. And we're talking about hearing aids where you had these big clunkers that were hanging out in the back of your ear, and a telecoil was this pretty big thing that was in there. And then when somebody would answer a telephone back in the 70s and 80s and had hearing aids with the big clunkers, headsets in the top, the old headsets, had a telecoil in there. And people used to answer regular phone calls like this. Hello, how can I help you? And the reason why is because you need to be close. The telecoil here has to be close to the telecoil here to connect and send sound. So a person in the 80s would have been answering a phone call like this with hearing aids. Hi, how can I help you? Yes, yes. And that way they could hear what was going on. So telecoil is very old, which is why very few hearing aids, 50% of the hearing aids now still have a telecoil. Plus they squealed. Old technology, not the most reliable. And I've tried telecoils. And when I talk about that popping and scratching and all that stuff, that's telecoil analog technology. And so you hear that pop, 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 screech, 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 really bad. Accidentally sent in a Q&A for the Maxi Pro. Is there much delay in watching TV? No, it's instant. The sound is immediate. So there won't be somebody laughing next to you at a comedy and then you're laughing 3 seconds later because the joke just finally got to your ears. It's immediate sound. You'll be laughing at the same time because you're getting the sound at the same time. Device with Bluetooth. I have a client who could benefit from a TV streamer. He gets confused with echo and delays. No echo. Digital sound. None of that. You know what? The old company that I used to work for Canadian Hearing Services. I was there for 12 years. We had a lot of staff who are hearing who would get complaints because they like to watch late night TV, whereas their partner did not like it. And they had a TV in the bedroom. So they would buy this, listen to TV. The partner has no sound because it's all in the headset and it's immediate. So it's super clear sound. Okay. Last thing as far as amplification goes that I want to show you, we're going to change the game a little bit. We're not talking about personal amplifiers so much anymore. These are personal amplifiers. So me as a person, I can't afford a hearing aid, but I need something right now, or I broke my hearing aid and I need something right now. This is a fantastic solution. It's relatively inexpensive, and its capabilities are quite far reaching, and the sound quality is so good. But we also have a system for people who have to go to lectures and university students who are hard of hearing and things like that. So if you have clients who struggle to hear, somebody who's presenting in sign language, presenting like this, we have something called the Domino and Domino Pro. So I'm going to open this up so you can see what's in the box, because it's a big box. It's like a shoebox almost. And then you get this big container of things in it, and it opens up like this. One side are the accessories. The other side is the actual devices. And if anybody on the call knows anything about FM systems, this is like an FM system. So you need a transmitter, something that transmits the sound, and a receiver, something that receives the sound. And it's usually over a big distance. So think a big, large lecture hall where you have 200 students in it, university days, and somebody's sitting way at the back. And if the teacher's voice doesn't project or the sound system isn't the greatest, somebody who's hard of hearing is just, it's a lost cause. So here's what's in that one side. It's the little kit. It's material, but also plastic protect. And I'll open it up. And here we have the devices. And we've got some more cables here in this side. But really, we're going to focus on the devices. So take those out. This is the receiver. It looks like the Mino. And that's because it basically is like the Mino. Mino, Domino. Different color. But the Domino also comes with a transmitter. And these two are automatically paired. But here's the cool thing about this. So an FM system, FM, AM, FM, it's a radio signal. So a lot of people can buy a system that's called an FM system, that one side is like a tower, a radio station. Think of it that way. I'm the radio station and I'm the talker, so I'm talking. And you're the radio listener, so you get the receiver and you get to listen to me talk. FM systems, that's what it is. It sends the radio signal. This is the same concept as an FM system, but the signal is not FM. It is digital. So once again, if you remember, sometimes you can turn on your radio and you still hear pop, 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 scratchy, scratchy, scratchy. That's old analog technology. That's FM technology, AM, FM type technology. This is digital. So that sound is gone. It's just whisper, just like all the other devices we just looked at. But what's cool about this is when you turn this on by itself, it's the same concept. Tone, volume, just like that. Buttons are the same. You have two microphones as well. So when I turn this on by itself, it's a personal amplifier on its own. But the second I turn on this device, this one's dying too, flashing red light. But once I turn on this, the microphones on this one disconnect, and the microphones on this one is what this gets as far as sound. And what's good about this is that it is a massive radius. So if you're in a very large conference room, or you've gone to a conference and it's one of those massive places that's like 3 gymnasiums together, this will send the signal, digital sound, clear to the person who's wearing this. And what's cool about the transmitter is you can either, somebody who's presenting can put it down on their desk and talk. But if you got people who are walkers and they like to present and walk around the stage or walk up and down the audience, well, everything somebody would need comes in this. For example, you can get a presenter to put in one of those famous little whoopsie daisy, news microphones. And then this goes right in your pocket or clips on your belt because there's a clip on the back as well. And I can walk around and talk and talk and talk. This microphone picks up the sound, sends it to the receiver, crystal clear sound. So if you have people who go into university or going to university or in university and are struggling to hear the teachers, or church, a lot of elderly senior folks like to go to church and they just can't hear what the pastor or the priest are saying, this is the perfect solution. It is an ideal whisper clear sound, but this can do so much more. It's not just for presentations and talking and hearing from distances. You can technically connect the transmitter to your TV as well, and it'll send the TV sound to this. So it does a lot. You can connect this to your TV, you can connect this to your computer, you can connect it to a tablet, and whatever sound is coming out of those devices, it'll send it whoop to this, and the person has crystal clear sound. So it does a lot. It's not just for voice and presentations and talking. You can connect it to a lot of media type sources and get that sound as well into the receiver. Pretty impressive little device, this guy. No, the Domino does not have Bluetooth capabilities, unfortunately. It has what's called radio frequency capabilities. So technically, what it can do is, and I'll show you, it's gray on gray, so you might not see it too well, but it has a button. Instead of T, it says RF, radio frequencies. So if there is a system, let's use a university, because universities spend a lot of money on audio systems. So if a university has a radio frequency system where people can tap in with their hearing aids into the system, not very many places have it. Technically, some places can by pressing the RF signal and just automatically tap into the audio of the room. But that's if they have the system in that room, in that venue. Okay. So unfortunately, no, there's no Bluetooth on this one. The only one that has Bluetooth really is this little sucker, the personal amplifier, which is amazing. Okay. That's what I wanted to show you. And I see I have a half hour left. I want to change topics. Or does anybody have any more questions about personal amplifiers and amplification? I'm happy to help. Those people maybe did DB. Yes. Okay, great question. DB clients, deaf-blind clients. Very familiar with deaf-blind clients. I've worked with deaf-blind clients and interveners and all that fun stuff. Yeah, okay, great question. The second question is an amazing question. So tactile, being able to feel and know what it is without seeing it. So I'll try to, you can kind of see, but these are rubber, and the plus button is concave or convex, and the minus button is concave. And it's the same for the tone. There's concave and convex. So just by feeling alone, I can tell which is the plus, which is the minus, which is fantastic. And on here, there's 3 buttons. They're all rubber, so they have that textile thing. And the microphone button has a rubber sort of indentation on the top, so you can tell that this is the microphone and that this is the Bluetooth. It's smoother compared to the microphone button. So it's very concave. And it's very similar for these. And well, I won't take it back out because I just put it away, but in the Domino. And somebody asked, Domino Pro, can you add more receivers? Yes. We don't recommend that it gets higher than 10 receivers, but you can add up to 10 people. Once you get into the 11, 12, 13 receivers, the sound quality, some of the receivers start stealing the sound quality from other receivers. So somebody using receiver number 4 might not have the same quality of sound as a person using receiver number 11. So if you keep it at 10, everybody has the consistent sound. 10 or under, consistent sound for everybody, crystal clear. Arthritis, yes. Okay, that's a great question. Our number one clients for our company, Bellman, are seniors. And the number one reason that they go for with us, one, ease of use. I don't want something that, I have to press this 3 times and press it 4 times and I just press it, volume, let's go. So that's one thing very popular with seniors. But the other very popular thing is because of the ease to press buttons. Severe arthritis, somebody who you can't even shake their hand or else they scream in pain. that's a little different. But somebody who has your typical arthritis where they do take some medication, but they're able to somewhat function, they can't grab things very hard though at the same time, this will be fine. This will be fine. It's very easy to press. I'm pressing it right now and I'm barely doing anything, let alone a simple push just by putting your finger on it and pushing. It doesn't put any pressure on your joints. It's very light. So it's great. These questions are amazing. I love these questions. Okay, I'm going to shift gears now, and I'm going to see if I can do this properly. It's alerting, but alerting has so many components to it. So I'm going to try to show them to you and how they work, but I may have to stand up a little bit. So bear with me and do my best to show you what it does. Before I show you, let me explain how alerting systems work for deaf and hard of hearing. So there's always two devices that need to be involved, okay? You can't just have one device that alerts you about everything that's going on in your house, like some devices or some people think. It doesn't quite work like that. There's always one device that speaks to another device. And these devices tend to have a name, just like the domino, and I told you that has a transmitter and a receiver. Alerting systems have a transmitter and a receiver. So if one of your clients buys a transmitter and no receiver and says, hey, look, I got a smoke alarm that's going to let me know if there's a smoke at night. Yeah, the smoke alarm will work but it's not going to send a signal to wake you up at night to another device that wakes you up. So let me show you what I mean by that. So this is a doorbell. It's one of the things that we offer is a doorbell. It is a transmitter. When I press the doorbell button, I'm sending a signal to other devices in my house to let me know that there's somebody at the door. One of those devices is this. This is called a flasher. And you can, the symbols aren't very clear, but you can see that there's lights and symbols, and I'll try to bring it closer. That's a pacifier for a baby. You can't really see it because the image isn't sharp. That's a door. That's a telephone. And that is a fire symbol. Okay? I apologize, my nails. I should have cut them a bit before. And you can see the light is on green, meaning it's ready to go. So this is the transmitter. This is a receiver. And I want to show you what happens when I press the doorbell. I don't know if you can see it, but it's flashing, and I've got other devices bouncing around behind me. I'm just going to silence them. So what this did, this is a push button doorbell, and it sent a signal, and the light lit up to the door. And this top part, it's hard to see in a video. It was flashing. It is a strobe, an LED strobe. So it is bright. In my room where I am right now, the whole room lit up. Okay? Video cameras tend to not do the right way. So I'll do that again. And somebody said too close. So let me just back it up. So somebody's at my door. Boom. You hear some things going off, and then you can see that this is flashing. And I just tap the top to make it stop. And I'll stop this from going off as well. Okay? So that's one form of transmitter and receiver to alert you of what's going on. Now, some people are thinking, well, I already have a doorbell. Why would I need to buy one? And would I stick this outside my door? And how did that work? You could. Some people like to, I don't have a doorbell in the back door, and I don't know if somebody's at my back door. That would be a great solution. You just stick it on your back door, and there you go, good to go. It's peel and stick. It's very, very easy. And all of this stuff is ready out of the box. You don't have to program anything. You buy a flasher, you buy a push button doorbell, you take it out of the box, you plug this in because it does have a plug, and you're good to go. That's literally how easy it is. It's out of the box ready. So this, some people would say, why would I need a peel and stick doorbell when I already have a doorbell at home? It's a great question. Some people would prefer to have this at their office because they're deaf or hard of hearing and they can't hear somebody knocking at the door or saying, hey, Mike, at the door. And I got my back to the door and I'm just typing away. And somebody's saying, hey, Mike, can you help me with this? And I'm just ignoring the person. And the person's thinking, wow, Mike is really rude. He's ignoring me. It was because I couldn't hear you. If I had this outside my door and this close to my computer in my line of sight, I'll know there's somebody at my door because when you ring it, it'll go off and I'll turn around and see you and I'll answer your question. So a lot of people will use this for like unique situations. Some people will even use it to hang it around their neck because they have issues, mobility issues. And if I press it, it identifies to others in the house that I need help. So if it goes off and you see the door, but you know nobody's at the door, that means Michael must have pressed his button. He needs help. So a lot of seniors might use it for that type of situation, like as a call button. Anyways, if you have that hardwired doorbell already at home and you don't need another doorbell, you can get rid of this. We can go to this door, which is this little device. And it hooks up where your ringer is, not where the doorbell is, but where the ding dong comes from. It goes next to it. And it either listens to it or you can hardwire it just by a very simple connection. Some people aren't familiar with the red and white cable and how to connect those, red to red, white to white. That's really what it is. Those cables are inside this. If I were to open it up, it's inside there. So what I could do is you would attach this. It's got little hooks and things like that, and a peel and stick, depending on your preference. And you put it right next to the ding dong bell and connect it, or it'll listen to it. And that way you don't need to change your doorbell. You use what you have. And this, now I don't have it hooked up to my doorbell right now, so I can't do it to make this go off. It needs to be hooked up. But this is the alternative to you already having a doorbell, and it'll just relay to the receiver. Now, on that note, I will show you the different types of receiver transmitters that are available. So this is a transmitter. This is also a transmitter, the doorbell. That's for the door. But if you have a landline telephone, here's the phone connector. And it looks almost the same as the other one, except you can see it's got a cable, and it's your traditional phone cable. And the way it works is very simple. There's a little adapter in the box here. You plug it in the wall. The phone plug, the phone that you have goes in there, as does this. And the next thing you know, when you get a phone call, this will flash the phone instead of the door. So it'll let you know that there's a phone call coming in. So that's another transmitter, the phone, to let you know that there's a phone call coming in. There's more. There is where did I just put it? Hey, here it is. If people who have a newborn and they're worried about missing when the baby's crying, looks almost the same. It's got a little clip to stand it up so it can stand like that. And it's a baby monitor. So when your baby's crying, it will register that it's crying, and it's a transmitter. So it transmits the sound to one of the receivers to let you know. I'll try to clear that up. It's not very good, but that's a pacifier that your baby is crying. So that's the baby transmitter. And then there's the number one concern for everybody when it comes to alerting for deaf and hard of hearing: fire and carbon monoxide. And yes, we have a smoke detector and a carbon monoxide detector. And these are transmitters that, when they're triggered, if there's a smoke in the room, or if there's carbon monoxide leak going on in the area, those will send a signal to the receiver to let you know that there is a fire. Now, very important, for people who are sleeping is, what if the flashing doesn't wake me up? That's an absolute correct concern. And that's why we have these things called bed shakers. So for those who don't know what a bed shaker is, it's pretty much in the name. It shakes your bed, and it shakes. Kind of about the size of a hockey puck. There's rubber here and on the backside here. A lot of bed shakers out there don't have that rubber. And the reason why the rubber is there is because this goes under your pillow or your mattress, one or the other. And the rubber keeps it in there. A lot of people are tossers and turners, and if they have a bed shaker that doesn't have these rubber things, it's not uncommon for them to whack it with their arm and it goes flying off if it's under their pillow, and it lands on a carpeted area around the bedroom. And then when the alarm goes off, it's just vibrating on carpet, and nobody knows what's going on. So this keeps it safe and secure. And these can be plugged in to these. And that way you have a flasher. But you may not want to have the flasher in your bedroom. A flasher like this is something that's good for the kitchen or the living room or the common areas. In your bedroom, you would probably want to use a different receiver. Okay, so we're talking about receivers now. This is a receiver, as is this. It's an alarm clock. There we go. It's an alarm clock. You can't really see, but I will try to. I've got it on military time now, but I can change the time very easily just by twisting, rolling this around. That's how I'm changing the hours. Oop, 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 oop. And then when I click it again, it stayed on it. And then I can change the minutes just by rolling. I'm just twisting this up and down, and then I press it. So 106, not quite the right time, but that's what I've picked. And the other side has the same knob, but that's for your alarm. And then just like any fire alarm clock, it's got a big snooze button on the top and a big power button. There, big snooze button right there. And your time. And it has a bed shaker attached to it, and it comes with a bed shaker. So this would be your alarm clock, just like a normal alarm clock. You can set an alarm. The face lights up nice and bright, big blue LED light. So it's easy to see. But if there's an alert, there's these four little strobe lights here, and that will flash as well. And if you have the bed shaker attached to it and it's under your pillow or under your mattress, it will shake you awake. So if you have somebody at the door, if you have somebody trying to call you at night and it's 2 a.m. and it's an important phone call, this will alert you to that alert, a notification. But the number one concern, and unfortunately I do have some horror stories to share, I won't share them, I just know of them, of people who have these and it saved their lives, and people who didn't, and it did some pretty serious stuff to the family. So this is a life-saving device, really, because it will alert you to whatever's happening while you're asleep. And the number one, like I said, fire or carbon monoxide. Those are the biggest concerns. So there's an alarm clock that you can use on the bedside. And it's pretty sleek looking. If you guys don't know, Bellman Symfon, it's a European company. They were based out of Sweden. They've been around for almost 40 years now. So Europe was their number one market. That's where they made a name for themselves, and they're very well known in Europe. They've been in North America for maybe 5 to 8 years, and there was a pandemic in that. So we're just trying to make people more aware of the devices, but it has a bit of a European feel. That's the whole point of that I was trying to say. You can see a lot of competitors that are out there, and it's very big and blocky and kind of ugly. These are kind of sleek, good looking devices that have unique characteristics. And again, out of the box ready. You buy one of these alarm clocks, you take it out of the box, you set the time just like I did by turning the knob, push the knob when it's set, you're done, it's good to go. It's already connected to all these types of receivers that I've been showing you all over the place. I've already lost my doorbell. There it is, the doorbell. It's already set. So you don't have to do anything. It's out of the box ready. And that takes a lot of the guesswork and a lot of the challenges that people have with pairing and trying to make sure things are connected. It doesn't get any easier than our devices because take it out of the box, you plug it in, you're good to go. That's really what it is. So that's another receiver, but we have many others. This is a bit of an older model. We're still selling it. It's an older device. It looks like this. Nothing too special about it. It's a receiver that just tells you about notifications. So it is battery operated, and the batteries come with the device when you purchase it. And the batteries will last years because it's not a big drain on the batteries. It's got a volume button. That's volume. So I'm going to crank it up. Ooh, go pretty loud. And it's got a strobe. So the strobe, the only difference is that this doesn't tell you too much like these as to what the alerts are with those little symbols that we have. This has just a strobe that will have a different color strobe depending on the alert. So I am going to press the doorbell and you're going to hear a ding dong. The ding dong that you're hearing is coming from this. And you can see that it's flashing. Now I've got things bouncing all over the place. But it just lets you know it's portable. And that's the whole point of this one is that you can, some people like to go in their garage and work in their garage and have some time in there. Some people like to be in the basement and doing things where they don't have much of the way of alerting system. You can just pick this up and bring it to wherever you are in the house to make sure that you get your alerts. That's one option that this thing does. The other one is newer, and it's this. It looks big and clunky. It's because I have it in the charger, but I can take it out. Just need to pull it out. So that's the charger. It's got little kick legs to hold it up. But it's a pager. And if I zoom in, you see that a little bit better this time. The baby, the door, the phone, and the fire. It's the same symbols. So what happens is, I'm not going to light a fire to show you in case of power outage. I assume that is one of the best questions we've had so far. So somebody's asking, if you haven't seen it, if there's a power outage, are these things going to still work? Like that's the worst case scenario is if you have a power outage and then suddenly there's a fire in the house. And the answer is yes. They all have backup batteries. So your whole house is dead for a day and a half, 2 days. Your system is still operating. So you can go to bed, rest assured that if something goes off and you're shaken awake or strobed awake at night, and there's still no power, it'll work. It'll get you out of bed. So it's an extra safety thing.
Michael, we have a participant who has their hand raised, so I'm going to
I missed that. Yes.
No, that's okay. I'm going to ask Nancy to go ahead and speak.
Oh, yes. Sorry, Nancy. Didn't see that.
So, Nancy, you should be able to unmute yourself.
Nancy, you're muted. I can see you're muted. You may have to press your mute.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you now.
Okay, quick question. I'm deaf and blind. And my question is, I can't see the flasher. But the other question is, I need something. I'm in a condo and my alarm outside, I'm sleeping and I can't hear the fire alarm outside my building, like outside the door. Mm-hmm. And I have a problem with that because they always ring the doorbell. Like I don't know, they knock on the door. I still can't hear. Is there any way that there's a system that can hit the outside system and my door, or I can say it's the fire department at my door or something that I can...
Yeah, that's a great question, Nancy. So for those, I may be dating myself a little bit here, but I was born in the 70s. So I grew up watching 80s television. And one of my shows was MacGyver. And we talk about MacGyverisms because people need to think of out of the unusual solutions to a situation using everyday things, right? So using our solutions, where is it? Oh, there it is. So technically, this is the, I know you're DB, so but I'm just showing the audience as well. This is the phone transmitter. So the one that would hook up to your landline telephone, okay? This is going to sound weird as I'm talking about a landline telephone and you're asking a question about smoke alarms and fire alarms at your apartment. So there's two ways that we can do this. we can actually connect the telephone transmitter to the fire alarm that's outside your door. Okay, so right up in the ceiling, they'll need an electrician probably to do that, to connect the two wires that are in this little device to the smoke detector that's outside your door. So when that smoke detector goes off, you will be alerted, but just know that the alert will come up showing on our devices as the phone, but it's not the phone. It's going to be the fire alarm. The other option is, and now I'm switching over to something that looks almost identical, but the door transmitter can also be connected to the fire panel. So in other words, Nancy, if you want to make sure that the alarm that's outside your door, the one that you can physically see, that not you, but people can physically see, that's just on the ceiling outside your door, we can connect the phone transmitter to it, and that will alert you when that one goes off. But a better solution, and usually in apartments they have this, they have what's called a fire panel. It's usually on the first floor, and it looks like an electrical panel, but that's where the whole fire system is connected to. It's basically the brains of the fire alert system that's in your apartment. And we can connect a door transmitter in the fire panel so that when the whole system goes off, you get a notification. So if you're on, I don't know how many floors they're on, but if you, let's just say, for example, you live on the 3rd floor, but there's an alert on the 6th floor and everybody has to evacuate, you will get those notifications. So the two options are, we connect it to the smoke detector that's outside your door. That's one, we can do that. That way you'll get the notification when that smoke alarm goes off. Or we connect it to the fire panel system that's on the ground floor, usually of your apartment. And that way you'll get notifications when the whole system goes off. All right. Does that help at all, Nancy? I just want to make sure that I get answered your question, but you're going to have to unmute yourself again to get you. Get back to me, Nancy. You may be playing around trying to find where that mute button is. In the meantime, I see another question. Can the baby monitor be repurposed when the child is older? What sounds is reactive? So yeah, technically, where's my baby monitor? There it is. Technically, yes. The baby transmitter, the baby sound transmitter, is a sound detector. So if the baby's crying, it detects the sound and it sends the signal. It's a sound detector. So I could literally go into the baby's area and cough. If there's no baby in the room, but there's one of these in the room, one of these baby transmitters in the room, and I have a coughing fit in the room. It'll trigger this. So it's a sound detector. Once it hits a certain threshold, it triggers it. So if you have an older child who makes a lot of sounds and you want to make sure everything's okay, as long as those sounds are equivalent to like a baby cry type of sound, it'll pick it up. As a matter of fact, some people use the baby monitor for all sorts of sounds. Like there's one person who used to miss the bus, their school bus, all the time because the whole family was deaf. So what was happening is that the school bus, they installed one of these sound detectors, and the school bus, when they got to the stop, started honking the horn. And the sound detector was outside, and it triggered the baby alert in the house. And the kids, the school bus is here, get your butts out there and get to the school bus. So there's a lot of, I'm going to use the word again, MacGyverisms that you can use this to capture different types of sounds. One person who's deaf wanted to know when the dog was barking at the door. So they installed the baby monitor at the door to know when the dog was barking, because it identified that there's somebody around the door who didn't ring a doorbell or didn't do something like an Amazon delivery. So they were doing that to use it for that. So you can be pretty creative in using this device to capture sounds that are going around in the environment to get those notifications. Sorry, Nancy, I can see you've been unmuted.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I do, but I'm on the main floor. So what has happened is when the alarm system is, I don't, because I'm on that main floor, I don't hear all that alarm at all. And everyone else hears it in their unit, but mine doesn't.
Yeah. So it sounds like you have a fire panel.
Okay.
So here's what I recommend. I'm gonna type my email in the bottom of the screen.
Oh, I can't see. Sorry.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. And well, you got a hold of the folks at the Canadian Assistive Technology Center. Please use them. And if they ever need somebody behind the scenes to help them out and walk you through some of these unique situations, they know they can reach out to me. So Greg, Nancy, I'm here for you on this. So Nancy, just deal with the CAT folks, Canadian Assistive Technology, and we'll make sure that you get the help you need. The one thing I would ask you to do, Nancy, maybe is speak to your super of the condo or the apartment. Okay. And just find out what kind of fire alarm system they have. That's information I would like to know if we're going to go down this road. Okay.
Yeah, and I'd like to say thank you. And how much does this cost? Because I'm dying to.
Oh, these little transmitters that we're talking about, but you would need a receiver as well so that it notifies you. Okay. You're not looking at an arm and a leg here, but it'll be a couple $100 for sure. Okay. For sure. Yeah, because I looked at some at Steve's store, and I wanted to get information, and that's why I'm here today. Because being deaf and blind is so much out there for us. But what about, like you said, deaf is the worst part, but not seeing the light is the hard part. But at least it's got vibration too, because we can attach a little tiny bed shaker. And I'm telling you, Nancy, if you don't feel the vibration, well, then you're in a coma.
I can definitely feel that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
My pleasure. My pleasure. I'm sure we can do something for you. Now, I know that we've run over time, but I'm just going to quickly show something real quick for people. We also have a wireless bed shaker. It's wireless. It connects to your cell phone. So there's an app. It's free. All of the software is free. The device itself is $150 or $160, but it's a wireless bed shaker. So it's you set your alarm on your phone and you put this under your pillow, and the strap is the snooze button. So it goes off, it vibrates. There's 3 levels of vibration. Soft is more than your cell phone. Medium, which is what most deaf, hard of hearing folks will use, is medium. And then there's even strong. And strong is like a freight train going through your living room. So this little sucker is pretty powerful. A charge lasts 10 days. You can preset alarms in your phone so that you don't have to turn on and off the alarm all the time every morning. It'll remember the alarm. So when you go to bed, it will remember it and will wake you up by vibration. And to snooze it, you just do this. And to turn it off, you just do this. 2 pulls. So that's the Vibio, and it's a really cool little device. And it also can let you know if texts or calls are coming in. If people want that, you can turn that on and off if you wish. But it's a really cool little device. Anyways, I've gone over the time. I just wanted to show you that very, very quickly because it's our newest device. Very popular with university students who can't get out of bed, even if they're not deaf and hard of hearing. This is the equivalent of the Donald Duck cartoon where he couldn't get out of bed and had the bucket of water doused on his head. This is your bucket of water. Anyways, there it is. All done. So a couple minutes overboard, but I hope some of you at least learned something about what we have. They're very easy products to utilize. They're out of the box ready. Batteries tend to come with the devices, so you don't have to worry about that. Everything is in there. There's nothing really complicated about our systems. I see a question from Miron.
And we have a question from, so I've just unmuted. I think it was Myron who has their hand raised.
Myron?
Go ahead.
Sorry, it's my French that came out there. You're muted, Myron. There we go.
Should be able to unmute, yeah.
You're on, Myron. I'm not sure. Oh, okay, sure. I'd be happy to give my contact information. But just so you know, your Canadian folks, even though I am in Canada, are the folks who organize this event. But I'm always there in the background to help anybody who may want. No.
Yeah, if anybody...
There we go. There's my contact information. Myron, you're probably frantically trying to figure out why we can't hear you. We see your hand. We see that you want to ask a question, but unfortunately, it seems like we're having the famous technical issues.
Yeah, I've given you permission to talk, so I'm not sure what the issue might be.
Yeah, it might be a question of your microphone not being on the right setting, but now we're going down a rabbit hole of technical challenges.
Yeah, so you can, everyone, thank you so much for joining us. You can definitely reach out to Steve Barkley at Canadian Assistive Technologies, or myself, Ryan, or Greg at Canadian Assistive Technologies. We have some more raised hands. Definitely, Michael, I want to thank you so much for your time as well.
My pleasure.
If you have a few minutes, let's just see if we can quickly address these other
Yeah, that's
raised
fine.
hands
I have no meetings this afternoon, so that's great.
Perfect. So let me just find these folks. And Betty, you should be able to speak. I see your hand is raised. All right, now you should be able to, Betty. Sorry about that.
Hi, there we go. Just
There
took
you go.
me a minute to find it. I did ask the question in the chat, but I guess it wasn't noticed. So just wondering, the little amplifiers that you demonstrated earlier, do they work with Bluetooth hearing aids, or are they designed for people that don't use hearing aids?
It's a bit of both. So to answer your question about the Bluetooth, because yes, for those who don't know, I was talking about telecoils, and only 50% of the hearing aids have telecoils. Most manufacturers for hearing aids are taking out the telecoil because it's the size of a grain of rice now. They're basically throwing it out, and they're putting in Bluetooth in hearing aids. So that's why hearing aids have a lot of hearing aids nowadays that have Bluetooth. So when I talk about, where is it? I've now buried it in all my stuff. So when I talk about this type of device that has Bluetooth, clearly the number one thought is, well, if this has got Bluetooth, it should be able to connect with my Bluetooth hearing aids. Unfortunately, the answer is no, it won't.
That's what I thought.
Yeah. Okay. So if you have Bluetooth hearing aids, it won't work that way. It only connects to your traditional type of Bluetooth devices like cell phones and tablets. But I will mention just quickly, if the hearing aid has a telecoil, this is what a neck loop looks like. It's a necklace. It says neck loop because the system is technically called an induction loop system. I'm not going to get into the details of that.
Yeah.
But a neck loop is a necklace. So it goes around my ears, like my head like this. And then where the headset goes, it's plugged into there, like that. And that, then the telecoil in this necklace connects to the telecoil in my hearing aids. And the sound goes from here to here. That's how it works. But if your hearing aids do not have...
No, they don't. I'm quite certain they probably
don't.
Yeah.
So that means the person either has to take out their hearing aids and use a headset, or it gets a little more complicated. Sometimes you have to use what the manufacturer of the hearing aids have that's available for a supplemental sound microphone or something like that. Yeah. I'm very familiar with all this stuff. This is what I used to do in my previous career, is telecoils and hearing aids and all that stuff. It's a complicated, convoluted world, and not everything is perfect.
No, but it could be useful if your hearing aid batteries die, let's say, and you want to listen to something else. But I was thinking of it more for say, if you're in traffic, and that directional sound you spoke about, if you point it at something and that's where you'll hear the sound.
Yes. So something like this might be very easy to use because it's just power on and pick the microphone, off you go. But if somebody wants to have a little bit more capabilities and connect things to their cell phones, we're looking at this little sucker. But you're right. If somebody has something that breaks or dies, or because I know that a lot of people get subsidies for hearing aids, but the subsidies come with rules. Like, you got your hearing aid with the subsidy, great. You're not qualified for a new subsidy for new hearing aids for another 3 years. So if you're brushing your teeth and you put your hearing aids by the sink and then you hit something and your hearing aids just went into the water, oh my God, my new hearing aids, and I don't qualify for a new pair. And if they can't fix it, that's when people are saying, well, I don't have the money to get new hearing aids. For those who don't know, it's $5,000 to $8,000 for a new pair of hearing aids. So why don't you just spend a couple $100 and get one of these instead, and you'll be able to live. You'll be able to have a life. So it's stuff like that you have to think about. Yes, the person's asking if we're trying to use Bluetooth. Yes. I'm going to say a word. I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to say it for the DB clients. It's called Auracast. Auracast. I'm just typing it there for everyone to take a look. So for those who've never heard of Auracast, Bluetooth is going to go away. Bluetooth is leaving. Bluetooth is point to point. So I have my phone, that's one point, and I have my Maxi Pro, that's another point. So point to point connection, that's Bluetooth. Auracast is going to be point to thousands of points. So my cell phone can connect to 1,000 of these. That'll be done through Auracast. So the new iPhones 16s, they have Auracast now in the phone. But we won't see Auracast in hearing aids for 3 to 5 years from now. And the use is going to be something like, you go to an airport and you have hearing aids and it's loud and there's people around and you can't hear the announcements that are being done. You can have 10,000 people in the airport, and every single one who has hearing aids can connect to the PA system of the airport and get the announcements in their hearing aids. So that's what Auracast does. Right now, you can't do that with Bluetooth because it's one-to-one. So that's what we're looking at. So you're asking us, are we looking at doing full Bluetooth right across the board? We're going one step further. We're looking at adding Auracast to all our devices, which is going to be even better. All right, Myron, have we figured it out?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
we got you there.
Congratulations,
Yep.
Myron. We can hear you.
Okay, like you say, technical problems, turn this on, the other thing on. So
we got you.
Anyway, so I've heard of Bellman Symfon in Europe.
Yes.
I wasn't aware that they're, in North America, so that's very encouraging to see.
Great.
They do have good devices.
Mm-hmm.
Now, of course, as always, the cost.
Yes.
Are there any, I don't know, any subsidies or anything available?
Well, it depends. What province are you in? Where do you live, Myron?
BC.
BC. So what I would do then, I don't know. My answer is I don't know. I live in Ontario, and I'm pretty familiar with the subsidies that are available in Ontario, and there are some available, but every province is different. I'm also familiar with what it's like in Quebec. Believe it or not, in Quebec, they subsidize everything. You want hearing aids? Free. You want bed shakers? Free. You want your alarm system? Free. The government pays for everything. But in BC, I'll be honest, I think what you need to do, Myron, is circle over to the people who set this up. And like Greg from Canadian Assistive Technology, because and I don't want to put words in your mouth, CAT folks there, but are you familiar with some of the subsidies that might be available in BC for people who are hard of hearing or deaf?
Steve would be the one who would know that for certain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Myron, do you have their contact information so that they can get back to you on this?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay.
Another similar question. Would this qualify for a medical, like on income tax? This, when you reach certain threshold, your medical expenses can be deducted. So would that
I'm not
be?
sure, but what I can say is that I know that several of the devices that we've been talking about can be considered medical devices. But I don't know if they qualify fully for any subsidy. But like I said, some of the folks at the Canadian Assistive Technology Group, they should be able to walk you through that. I don't want to give you the wrong information and send you down the wrong path. I'm always scared to do something like that. So I don't know myself. So I just want to make sure that you're not getting the wrong information from me.
That's fine. Thank you.
But Myron, you mentioned something that's really on point. So if some of you go on Amazon and start looking for competitive products, you're going to find competitive products, and they might be a little bit less expensive than ours. That's great. Go for it if you want to, but just know our products have a 2-year warranty. Most of the things that you're going to look at that's on Amazon or online have a 1 year or less. Sometimes it's just 3-month warranty. And a lot of the devices that are out in the market that are competitive devices, some of them are great. I'm not going to knock them. But the majority of them require some setup and some pairing that is not as straightforward as the stuff that we have. So all this to say, quality, ease of use, and maybe slightly, not significantly, slightly more expensive will go a long way. And plus, you'll get better support if ever you have a question. We're there. Whereas, try finding some of these people online.
Yeah. Okay. Is there anywhere in BC, specifically in Vancouver area, who carries it?
Yes. So I'll give out our contact information now, Michael, if that's okay. So Myron and everybody else, this is Ryan from Canadian Assistive Technologies. We have a physical office space in Vancouver on West 8th near the Willow Eye Care Center. All of our products are also available on our website at www.canasstech.com. That's CANASSTECH.com. You can also give us a call at 604-367-9480 or toll free at 1-844-795-8324, or you can email Steve at steve@canasstech.com or ryan@canasstech.com or greg@canasstech.com. Any one of us should be able to find the information that you're looking for on these products, and if we can't, we'll reach out to Michael.
Perfect.
It's always to have a hands-on, basically. Website, which it's a little bit abstract, so to speak.
Yeah, you can actually just give us a call, Myron, and Steve will speak with you.
Did you get that phone number, Myron?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay.
Is that the 613?
Oh, that's my phone number.
Oh, yeah, okay. So the Vancouver phone number, Myron, is 604-367-9480. And that's the Canadian Assistive Technology.
Okay, that's like the office number, or
that's the office number.
Yeah. Office number. Okay, great. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
You're welcome, Myron, and thanks for the plug there that you knew about us before. We do have some really cool products. Thank you.
Yeah, and again, I think we'll wrap it up there. So again, sure. I want to thank everybody for their time this morning and for coming out. Hopefully it was very informative. I know it was for myself, who is totally blind, not deaf yet, but I'm aging, so that day will probably come. It's very cool to hear about the products and where the technology is going that Auracast I hadn't heard about, so that's exciting as well.
Yeah, do a little research, folks. Google Auracast. I think your minds are going to be blown.
Absolutely. So again, Michael, if anybody wanted to reach out to you, can you share your information with us?
Yeah. I'll here. I'm just gonna copy paste it back in. It's way
Okay,
up
one
in the
more
chat.
quick.
Here it is
One
again,
more.
folks. Whoever
Can
may
I
need
ask one more quick question?
it. Sure,
Myron, go ahead.
Auracast, when do you expect it to be implemented?
Okay, so do you guys remember VHS and DVD? So think about it that way. Think about Bluetooth being VHS. So VHS videotapes that you watch movies at home, Be Kind, Please Rewind, all those things, they were in households for about 20 years. So how long has Bluetooth been in our household? Almost 20 years now. Okay. So DVDs came out, but a lot of people had VHS players at home and didn't want to jump into DVDs because it's very expensive and all that stuff. So it took some time before VHS tapes and all that stuff started making their way out and people stopped using them and started going with DVD players. But I would say that took about 3 to 5 years. So Auracast just came out. How long will Auracast take to replace Bluetooth? Probably the same amount of time it took Blu-ray or DVDs to replace VHS players, 3 to 5 years. So it just came out last year. We still have 3 to 4 to 5 years to wait before we really start seeing it. So now is the time to learn about it so that you're ready about it when it comes out, because it's going to change the game.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to stop the recording. Again, thank you everybody for your time this morning, this afternoon. We really appreciate all of you being here today. Michael, thank you so much for presenting the information to us as well.